Now, if you didn't happen to see the early episodes in this series, you won't have a clue what's going on here. So I'm going to try and explain it a little bit. What we're doing right now is we're testing to see how well did the cactus juice permeate the little pieces of wood. In other words, is there any voids that shouldn't be there? Like little pockets of air. Now, as you can see here, I've got the little pieces of wood completely immersed in the cactus juice. Now, I know that's a funny name for it, but that's what the guy called it. It's a heat-setting rosin. You'll see in a couple of minutes how that works. And the whole idea here is, as I said, I want to see how well did this process work. Is there any little air pockets that the cactus juice did not make it into? As soon as the vacuum pump starts up, it almost immediately starts pumping air out of the vacuum chamber. And it probably takes a minute or two before it would be at its maximum efficiency, or when you could say it's at the point of near perfect vacuum. I don't think it ever actually gets there, but it gets pretty close. I would say that most cases it probably gets 99% of the volume of air out of the blanks. Now this is what it looks like after about 2 hours or so. The vacuum pump has been running steady the whole time. And I know it looks like there's a lot of air still coming out of those blanks, but you have to remember that those little tiny air bubbles that you see are entering into a near perfect vacuum. They probably are just microscopic in size actually under normal room pressure. At least that's what I think. I'm not a scientist, I don't know, but it makes sense to me anyway. Now the idea is, when you let the pressure back into the vacuum chamber, the air wants to get back into the blanks, of course, because there's a void there. But the air can't because it's immersed in cactus juice. So the cactus juice is forced inside. And that's the secret to this process. What I do is I take this one step further, and I put it into a pressure pot, and I increase the pressure probably 8 times to what it would normally be. This helps to force the cactus juice in a little faster, and possibly even a little bit more thoroughly. I don't know. Once again, I'm not a scientist. But once again, this makes sense to me. Now, before I put those blanks into the toaster oven, I wrap them up in aluminum wrap. The idea being is to help keep the cactus juice in the blanks and not let it run out into the tray. Now, when you put it into the toaster oven, the heat of the toaster oven, which is around 180 to 200 degrees, it activates the cactus juice so that it hardens. Now, when I say hardens, I don't mean hard like acrylic. I would describe it more like, hard like ice. What you are seeing is me unwrapping the actual little piece that we're going to take a very close look at today. I have had this sled for a long time. It's actually quite long. You can't see how long it is, but it's probably about 3 feet long. And I used it when I was making segmented bowls, and I pretty much haven't used it since, so I thought I'd better use it here. Keep people happy. And I want you to notice that I wait for the blade to come to a complete stop before I move anything. This is as close as I can get with my macro lens. However, if I use my microscope, we should be able to get in even closer. I was thinking afterwards I should really have an end grain sample of that wood without the cactus juice process, so we can see the difference. Well, unfortunately, there is no way that you're going to get to see it as good as I can see it here. I get to see it in stereo, I get to see a wider view, and a little bit sharper than what you're going to get to see it. I'll be putting this adapter onto the camera in place of the lens, and then it goes into one of these eyepieces, and then I'll be focusing viewing on the old TV here, and you'll get to see it pretty good. Anyway, let's get at it here. It's a bit of a rigmarole having to switch everything around, so bear with me. Well, right now, the magnification is not really a whole lot greater than the macro lens. Well, maybe twice as much. But I'm going to zoom in a bit here and see if we can focus in on the cactus juice area. Now it goes out of focus when I do this, but I bring it back. Go a little more. Okay, that's as close as I can get. And right now I'm concentrating on the edge of the piece that has the cactus juice treatment, which is the one on the left. Okay, now I'm going to focus on the other one. Now you can see that there's a lot of open area in the other one. It's much more porous, whereas the cactus juice one on the left, it's solid. It almost looks like dark blue, black blue. Well, that's actually I believe the pores filled up with the cactus juice. I'm going to back off again. Okay, and we'll refocus. And we'll just look straight across here. Now there is nowhere that the cactus juice has not penetrated the wood. It's completely penetrated. Any areas that were not penetrated, they'd look light brown like that. So yeah, I'm satisfied that it completely penetrated that blank. Well, I think I've pretty well beaten this series to death here. There's nothing more I can show you. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And I still do not know what kind of wood it is. I don't think I'm ever going to know.